Ladies, what is your favorite Excel function and why? I cannot tell you how much joy it brings me to import a data table from another source, sort by largest to smallest and vice versa, and then color code it. My emails always look stellar. This comment is 100% serious. I totally agree. My husband thinks it's ridiculous that I color so many of my spreadsheets. Yet, I don't get a thanks when it is easy to tell exactly which Christmas presents or Black Friday deals haven't been purchased in a single glance on a holiday spreadsheet. A holiday spreadsheet sounds absolutely brilliant. How do you have it set up? Conditional formatting coupled with format paint. Allow me to blow your mind. If you double-click the Format Painter button, you can apply that format to as many places as you want, over and over. Carrot I, carrot am, carrot not, carrot a, carrot wrapper. Also, F4 repeat whatever you've just done. Tie, SUMIFS or COUNTIFS, double teaming it. My only issue with COUNTIFS is that it breaks down for large numbers. Dealing with a database that uses 14+ digit numeric IDs, and COUNTIFS will see two unique IDs as the same. It was a head-scratcher until I figured out why it wasn't returning the expected result. I'm not sure if SUMIFS has the same limitation. You could check the left 7 digits and the right 7 digits separately as a workaround. Kinda jank, but I think it would work. I'm a fan of a good old-fashioned nested if, but I wish I knew more about Excel overall. It's kind of hard to learn when you don't have anyone to show you. Look up logic gates. No more if statements nested 12 deep over 2 rows. Pivot tables are exceptionally. Get in my spreadsheets. Oh yeah, treat that dirty Excel like you are misusing it as a full-blown database. Put it in as a critical business process like it's your, then make the intern fix it every time it breaks like you don't even care about it. How did you sum up like every Fortune 500? I quite like conditional formatting. Can easily see dates that have expired, incorrect inputs, etc. Working on the same sheets with my whole team means that I can really simply audit what we're doing, without a whole heap of effort. I love the find dupes conditional formatting. So easy to find duplicate transactions that throw off your balancing. This question is so fun. Concatenate. Most people I work with use it to create a globby mess, and I like showing people how to use it properly. The and amp signed as the exact same function as typing the full concatenate. So like equals A1 and amp B1 has the same result. I find it quicker to use sometimes. And GT, so like equals A1 and amp B1 has the same result. Equals concatenate is worthwhile for handling messing data. It handles errors or invalid values better. My wife says COUNTIFS because it is necessary to make VLOOKUP useful when you have duplicates in your dataset. I don't know what that means. Tell her she can use Power Query to do group by and table joins. It's like running SQL on Excel. IDK, I get pretty freaky in the sheets. I'm surprised no one has said index yet. I'm also a fan of offset. I'm kinky that way. Index is the one. Getting the shoddy accounts data into AP and AMP, LNBS with minimal effort. Index, double referenced for her pleasure. Rand because it is so random, monsieur. I have a final on Access and Excel on Monday, so I'm definitely studying this thread lol. If you need anything Excel-based, Layla Garani on YouTube is a godsend. F2 is to fire, equals Roman. It turns your numbers into Roman numerals. But what have the equals Roman S ever done for us? Hands down Power Query, get in transform, create connections. You haven't lived with data management through Excel until you learn how to use that. Literally saved days of manual data compilation and manipulation. Love Power Query. It's great when you work for an organization that uses massive spreadsheets where it should be using an actual database. It's basic, but I always get a kick out of working subtotal into formulas so I can just filter column for one-time lookups. Also a big fan of F2 and GT, Control plus Enter because it looks cooler than dragging down when someone is watching. Not exactly a function, but convert text to columns. Fixes so many funky date formatting issues. I'm particularly fond of if, and here, my dumb has been using if. Jesus, You can use an offset function inside a named range to create a dynamic named range that will expand or contract based on how many cells are filled in. So if you are doing something where you constantly have to change the size of a range, put an offset inside a named range and it will always expand to fit. Also, use named ranges. No more of the range B4x185. Call it Q1 revenue, so you actually know what you're looking at in your formulas. Creating own functions in VBA, Merchant Center, it makes the aesthetics so much nicer. VLOOKUPs all day. Index match or GTFO. Get your together. XLOOKUP is the new index match. Equals clean equals trim equals proper. Network days does it for me. Whatever I have learned to use most recently, of course, because I end up finding multiple applications in my job for them to make things easier. In the past these have been SUMIFs, VLOOKUP, index, pivot tables, macros, summing a range of numbers based on the data in a cell, and most recently, my favorite, conditional formatting a row of data based on a selected criteria. So lately I've had lots of sheets going between me and others. I use this to highlight rows where they need to take an action, or if they show one thing and I show another and we need to come to an agreement about it. This makes me smile. All of it. Macros. Indirect is so useful. Goal seek. Try to find the right value for your business case. Goal seek is your friend. Usually I like things to be planned out and calculated, but something about RANDBETWEEN just gets me going. Can't choose. Excel is generally a gift for an analyst in me. I just upvoted every comment because I love every Excel function. Smiling face with heart eyes, but probably pivot tables if I really had to choose. Highlight your formula in the formula bar. Allen's hit F9 and you can see what it will resolve to. IFERROR is so great for cleaning your sheets. And DATEDIF is one of the best things for dealing with dates. Notice how when you type DATEDIF it doesn't come up with as much useful guidance as other functions. My old colleague told me that was because they nicked the function from Sun Microsystems and got sued over it, so they kept the function but don't signpost it. I've no idea if that's true. A quick Google shows me that Sun Microsystems did indeed sue Microsoft over some Java stuff, so perhaps this is part of that, but I have definitely noticed that DATEDIF isn't as clearly set out as other MS Excel functions. Also, I once had a woman trying to deliver a training course on Excel use where she kept referring to it as DATEDIF, and I couldn't stand it, so I said something about the function myself but made sure to refer to it as DATEDIF, and the look on her face was like she'd just realized her whole life was a lie. SUMIFs. Basic AF but Control+D. I do a lot of data massage from exports from archaic systems, and that function saves me so much time. Macros. Just do for me. IFERROR. All those wasted years typing out if x a when I could just have used IFERROR. Indirect, offset and sum product are pretty too. Although it's super basic, sum is what I use most often and I love it. I love tracking my finances and the satisfaction that comes with setting up a new spreadsheet and creating cells that add up my bank account total or how much money I've spent this year is like no other. Control+ENDOMFGGGGGGG. Index match is my favorite. It strives where VLOOKUPs can't. I'm excited for XLOOKUPs, or COUNTIF. I love having that data splay itself out. The if function, which I use at work to automatically calculate the due date for halfway through, 2 days before, and the actual due date for a report based on when it was created and how quickly it is required. Say a critical report was opened yesterday, it would be due in 5 business days. My if function takes the priority and adds 5 business days to it to calculate the due date of the 20th. It also calculates the first reminder date. It takes into account bank holidays based on a pre-populated list, because the due date is different based on priority, and especially this time of year when we have multiple bank holidays so close together, it's really easy to miscalculate if you're doing it manually. It has saved the business I work for money because it has significantly reduced the number of late reports which we would need to pay service credits. This is then paired with some conditional formatting to color the date fields for first reminder, second reminder and due date with green, orange or red so that it can be chased as needed without having to complete a manual check of the date field. It might not be the cleanest of formula, but I hate Excel with the fiery passion of 1,000 suns. I pieced the formula together myself, and while it probably could be shortened and tidied up a bit, I made it work all by myself, so I'm keeping it. Asking the real, hard-hitting questions. Why is this limited to the ladies? I love conditional formatting, coupled with filter by color, among others. I was surprised to see this wasn't the accounting subreddit I joined. Lol, any auditors in here? My dyslexic brain read it as insel function and I was really confused. LMAO. Alt plus 0176 alt code saved me so much time. Using equals mod 2 equals 0 or equals mod 2 equals 0 formulas within conditional formatting to create banded rows, columns, without having to format the data into a table or data range. Not a woman, but if I'm being realistic, it's SU monsieur. One that I use quite often, equals cell. Hit scroll lock to scroll through the spreadsheet with arrows, without changing your current selection. I've been exploring the delights of an indirect formula, using it to sum product data across multiple worksheets. It's very hot. COUNTIFs. Hands down my most used formula for all the terrible tables I have to sort through and count up. It saves me having to go through everything by hand. VLOOKUP. I use it all the time to move data around from spreadsheet to spreadsheet. It's my go-to. When I can't figure out how to do something, I can usually hobble things together with a VLOOKUP, somewhere in there. Simple stuff like sort, makes otherwise time-consuming stuff so much faster. Then I get mad I can't use it on other like Google Keep. I'm a big fan of some product. With a little manipulation you can do just about anything with it. Especially when you have horizontal and vertical labels. Turn it into an array and bam, answer central.